Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Vedanta Gadwala. Big focus at this hour. Well, it's the Tamil Nadu police versus the Enforcement Directorate in Tamil Nadu. That's a big showdown between the states and central agencies playing out in a crucial election year. Well, the Tamil Nadu police is expected to search the Enforcement Directorate offices just after a senior ED officer was actually arrested in a bribery case. So that showdown only escalating in Tamil Nadu. Sam Daniel is now joining us live on the phone line. So Sam, the showdown is only escalating, and it's quite rare actually for the Tamil Nadu police or for any state police to search the Enforcement Directorate office or offices of central agencies.
That's right, Vedant. This is being seen as a first of its kind, at least in Tamil Nadu. It all began with the arrest of one Enforcement Directorate officer called Ankit Tiwari in Madurai on allegations of receiving a 20 lakh rupee bribe from a government employee who's working in the Dindigul district of Tamil Nadu. The allegation is that this particular officer who was facing disproportionate assets case, police say Ankit Tiwari had demanded from him 1 crore rupees initially and later settled for a bribe of 51 lakh rupees to drop the case. And the government employee had already given him 20 lakh rupees, and when he demanded more, he paid another 20 lakhs. At that time, he was caught red-handed in his car. And now the police say this particular officer had threatened many such people and had received several crore of rupees, and also had shared that collection with his other colleagues in the Enforcement Directorate. He had also links with both officials of the ED in Madurai as well as Chennai. As we speak now already, the Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption from Tamil Nadu, they have searched the table of that particular officer inside the Enforcement Directorate office in Madurai. And they also say they plan to search the Madurai office as well as the office in Chennai.
Right, Sam. And Arvind Gunasekar is also now joining us on the phone line. So, Arvind, what you're reporting is that the DVAC is unlikely to enter the Chennai ED office, at least for now. But you're also reporting that Ankit Tiwari, the senior ED officer, has now been sent to a 15-day judicial custody.
Yeah, Vedant, the Tamil Nadu Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption, which is a separate wing that carries out vigilance and anti-corruption prevention work in the state of Tamil Nadu, which is a separate wing when it comes to Tamil Nadu police. They carried out this operation wherein they arrested Ankit Tiwari, who is a level 8 enforcement officer under the Enforcement Directorate branch office in Madurai. He was allegedly caught red-handed while receiving a bribe of almost 20 lakh from a government doctor in connection with the money laundering investigation. After he was nabbed by the Tamil Nadu DVAC officials with the cash of 20 lakh, he was taken to the DVAC office, local office, and he was questioned based on further information. He was taken to the ED's Madurai office, and that's where the DVAC officials carried out search operation at the official premises of this particular accused, Ankit Tiwari, and also his residential premises were also searched by the DVAC officials. So upon completion of search operation at his residence, he was taken to the judicial magistrate, the local judicial magistrate, and he has now been sent to 15 days of judicial custody. That's the usual process when it comes to Tamil Nadu. So only whenever an accused is arrested, he or she has to be sent to judicial custody, and tomorrow DVAC will be moving an appropriate application before the competent court seeking his custody, police custody. Simultaneously, the DVAC officials are also conducting searches at the official premises of this Ankit Tiwari at the ED office in Madurai. That's where there was a kind of a standoff between the ED officials and also DVAC, because ED officials were not, according to DVAC sources, that ED officials did not cooperate in the search operation. They tried to prevent DVAC officials from carrying out the search operation, and that's where we did see some kind of a standoff between DVAC officials and also ED officials in Madurai. And then what we also witnessed was the ITBP personnel, the CAPF Central Armed Police Force, was also brought in as per the request of ED, and they stood outside giving protection to ED office, and search operation at the ED Madurai office is still underway. That's what we are learning from our sources. But our sources in DVAC make it very clear that this is a source-based operation that the DVAC carried out based on the complaint from this government doctor. And according to our sources, this particular government doctor state government employee has told the DVAC, has informed the DVAC that this particular officer, Ankit Tiwari, contacted him saying that on the orders of PMO, they have initiated a money laundering investigation against him, and in order to close that investigation, he sought for 3 crore bribe. He allegedly demanded 3 crore bribe, and based on settlement, it was reduced to 51 lakh. 20 lakh was received on November 1st, and subsequently another 20 lakh was to be received today at around 10:30 a.m. And that's why he informed the DVSE, and DVSE laid the trap, and then they arrested Ankit Tiwari. And sources say that they are also investigating the role of other senior officers, because this Ankit Tiwari has told the state government employee that he needs that 31 lakh, remaining 31 lakh, to give due share to senior officials, and that's why, based on his statement, DVSE is looking into the role of other senior officers in this case.
Right, Arvind, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. Sam Daniel continues to be with us as well. So, Sam, what you're reporting essentially is that the Tamil Nadu police suspects that other senior officials of the Enforcement Directorate may also be involved in this particular case, because according to the Tamil Nadu police, the loot was actually shared with other ED colleagues as well, and the bribe was worth crores of rupees, is what the Tamil Nadu police suspect.
That's what the police and the Tamil Nadu government in a statement with the media have shared, that this particular officer has received several crore rupees threatening other such people, and has had a habit of sharing them with other colleagues, and he was also well connected with other ED officers both in Madurai and in Chennai, and that's why they plan to search also the Chennai office, and they're planning for that. That's what the statement says. And this has come at an interesting time when already the state government, Vedant, is at loggerheads with the Enforcement Directorate after the Central Investigating Agency had summoned 5 district collectors in Tamil Nadu over alleged money laundering from the proceeds of illegal sand mining in the state, which the Tamil Nadu government had challenged in the Madras High Court, saying the Enforcement Directorate does not have jurisdiction over this, and even the Madras High Court, based on that plea, had stayed the summons for 3 weeks and has asked the government and the collectors to respond to the queries by the Enforcement Directorate. Politically, the ruling DMK in Tamil Nadu has been arguing that the Enforcement Directorate and other central agencies are being used as tools by the BJP at the center to take on the opposition ruled states, particularly in states where they don't have a political standing. The BJP has, of course, denied this, and it's in this context, this particular showdown between the Tamil Nadu government in the form of the Directorate of Vigilance and Anti-Corruption and the Enforcement Directorate is to be seen now.
Right, Sam, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. And of course, the larger story really is that in a crucial election year and in the run-up to 2024, this showdown between central agencies and the states playing out across India. Of course, it comes weeks after a similar face-off in Rajasthan as well. Moving now to the other big headline. Well, in Mizoram, the poll panel has now deferred the counting date to December the 4th, and this comes after there were various representations and various appeals that were taken into account by the Election Commission. Ratneep Chaudhary is now joining us live on the phone line. So, Ratneep, what really were the reasons behind this deferral of the date? Because it's extremely rare that the Election Commission actually defers a vote counting date.
Well, ever since the dates for the polling as well as counting in the 5 states were declared, out of which Mizoram is one of the states, in Mizoram, the civil society groups, the church leaders, and as well as political parties, the NGOs have together appealed several times to the Election Commission to change the date of counting, which was on December 3rd, which is a Sunday. Now, remember, Mizoram is a Christian-dominated state, and the church and the NGOs were of the opinion that in Mizoram, Sundays are always closed, and Sundays are the days when people go out for the church service, and therefore they had requested the Election Commission to change the dates. And finally, the Election Commission has heeded to the appeal. In past as well, we have seen in Mizoram that the date of polling was changed once because it fell on a Sunday. So this time the Election Commission finally agreeing to the demand, because otherwise the church and the NGOs, the civil society groups, which are very powerful, they had appealed the political parties that they should not keep their political party offices open or have any sort of celebration if the counting is done on the 3rd of December, and therefore now it has been shifted to a working day, which is Monday. the 4th of December. So therefore, this change has taken place finally.
Right, Rathndeep, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. Of course, it was a long-standing demand, but finally the Election Commission deferring the counting date for Mizoram. And moving now, the world is in Dubai for one of the biggest climate conferences. That's the COP28, and India is really leading the change there. Of course, the focus is very much on the global south. The Prime Minister said that the West must rise above its own interests and that there should be just and equitable energy transition.
आज मैं इस फोरम से एक और प्रो प्लैनेट, प्रोएक्टिव और पॉजिटिव इनिशिएटिव का आह्वान कर रहा हूं। यह है ग्रीन क्रेडिट इनिशिएटिव। यह कार्बन क्रेडिट की कॉमर्शियल मानसिकता से आगे बढ़कर जन भागीदारी से कार्बन सिंक बनाने का अभियान है। मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि आप सब इससे जरूर जुड़ेंगे।
So, well, India leading that transition to an equitable transition and also climate equity finally. But on the sidelines of the COP28 summit, the Prime Minister also met Maldivian President Mohamed Muizzu, and this comes just weeks after Maldives had announced or in fact requested India and Indian troops to leave the island. Of course, the Maldivian President had fought his campaign on the India out policy, but the Prime Minister's crucial bilateral with the Maldivian President there on the sidelines of the COP28 summit. In other news, the National Institute of Technology in Srinagar has been closed and the students have been asked to leave the campus and the hostel amid tensions over an alleged blasphemous post by a non-local student. The controversy erupted Tuesday after a non-local NIT student posted an alleged blasphemous post, triggering massive protests. Here's a report.
A heavy security cover at the NIT Srinagar and orders to shut the institute and for students to vacate the campus after controversy over an alleged blasphemous post shared by a non-local student. Police say an FIR has already been registered against the accused, who has been booked for hurting the religious sentiments of a particular community.
हमने एक तय किया है 144 क्रिमिनल प्रोसीजर कोड के तहत एक सरसरी तौर पे एक कानून लाएंगे जिसमें किसी किस्म भी कंटेंट, मैसेज, वीडियो, ऑडियो जिससे कम्युनल सेंसिटिविटी ख़त्म हो जाएगा या किसी को डराया जाएगा, धमकाया जाएगा, ऐसे मैसेजेस को पोस्ट ही करना, ऐसे वीडियो को पोस्ट ही करना जो है वो कानूनन जुर्म हो जाएगा।
But as the protest spread to other colleges and hundreds of students took to the streets, the Jammu and Kashmir administration decided to shut all other colleges across Kashmir. They cited early onset of winter. College principals have been asked to hold online classes. PDP leader Mehbooba Mufti, while condemning the blasphemous content, has asked for giving a second chance to the student.
तो मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि जिस लड़के ने ये नाजायज़ कलाम किया है हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के ख़िलाफ़, उसके ख़िलाफ़ एक्शन लिया जाएगा। मगर मैं साथ ही ये कहूँगी, स्टूडेंट्स को एक मौका मिलना चाहिए, चाहे वो कास्ट के हैं, चाहे ये है, उनके मुस्तकबिल के साथ खिलवाड़ नहीं होना चाहिए।
Breakfast time was the deadline for all the students of NIT Srinagar to leave their campus. Following protests over controversial social media posts, all other colleges across Kashmir have also been closed. Government has cited early onset of winter as a reason for closing colleges for regular classes. Well, police have already filed an FIR against a student who has allegedly shared the controversial post. It is the education of students that has been hit. In Srinagar, Nazir Masoodi for NDTV.
So ultimately, all students of the college are hit because of this. We'll take a short break now. News continues on the other side. Welcome back. Israel has restarted offensive operations in the Gaza Strip, including the bombing of targets, with the ceasefire extension having ended. Dozens of hostages have been released in exchange for Palestinian prisoners who were held in Israel. The big and still unanswered question: how does this crisis actually end? Take a look. After a week of relative calm, tragedy in Gaza again. As fighting between Israel and Hamas resumed after the 7-day truce period ended, with both sides failing to reach an agreement on ceasefire extension. Both Israel and Hamas blamed each other for resumption of fighting, which killed dozens on Friday. Israel claims Hamas was first to violate the truce agreement by firing rockets and failing to release all women hostages. Upon the resumption of fighting, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated that eliminating Hamas is one of Israel's main goals. Hamas, on the other hand, blamed Israel for rejecting ceasefire terms to free more hostages. There seems to be a silver lining, as a top negotiator in the Israel-Hamas war, Qatar, said that negotiations between Hamas and Israel are continuing. While Israel has been swift to act with the expiration of the ceasefire, all eyes will be on Qatar, the US and Egypt, hoping that they would once again be able to bring this brutal conflict to a pause. A conflict that has killed thousands since October the 7th. With Vishal Vivek, Bureau Report, NDTV. So there seems to be no end to the war. But moving now to our special report. Well, December the 1st is observed as World AIDS Day. And this year, the day was marked with the theme, Let Communities Lead. Why? Well, because change depends not on a moment, but on a movement. The Banega Swasth India campaign brings you a special message so we can all work to build an inclusive India. Take a look.
December 1st every year is celebrated as World AIDS Day, a day to spread awareness, a day to support those who are living with the disease, and also a day to commemorate those who've lost their life due to HIV. But today on World AIDS Day, I have two young friends with a special message. So let's see who they are. We have Elmo and Chunky.
थोड़े दयालु थोड़े स्मार्ट देखभाल एक दूसरे की हाँ यही है बाकी दोस्ती उबुंटू उबुंटू चलो बनाए ढेर सारे दोस्त उबुंटू चलो बनाए ढेर सारे दोस्त फन फैक्ट
वो क्या है?
अम्बिका जी, आपको पता है कि कम्युनिटीज बनती है दोस्तों से, और जब कम्युनिटीज अपने दोस्तों का ध्यान रखती है तो कम्युनिटीज बन जाती है
हैप्पी कम्युनिटीज। और हैप्पी कम्युनिटीज के बहुत ज़रूरी है इंक्लूजन। सो दिस वर्ल्ड एड्स डे लेट्स प्लेज कि हम किसी को पीछे ना छोड़ दें। थैंक यू एल्मो एंड थैंक यू चमकी।
So let communities lead, that is the message. That's all the time that we have on this bulletin. From all of us here, goodbye.